Good Wednesday afternoon, everybody. Lead meteorologist John Choquette here for our daily 12 p.m. hail forecast video. We don't have a whole lot going on just today specifically, but it doesn't matter. We're going to be looking ahead to Friday and beyond, and looks like we might be things might be beginning to shape up to be a fairly significant day across a large portion of the plains on Friday. We'll get into that in just a minute here. First, just make sure you have those notifications set up, especially in case things really start to get a little dicey on Friday. Then make sure you don't miss anything, any of our live streams, forecasts, mapping storms, new maps, and of course alerts that we do for golf ball size hail or larger. Notification options on your desktop computer. Go to notification settings and you can see where you can set up different methods for which you receive your notifications, push your notification on your phone, email, or desktop computer, all three, combination of the two, and the regions you'd like to have those notifications set up for. So specific city areas, whole states, whole country. You guys know the drill. If you've watched us more than just once, we've heard this spiel a million times now. Just kind of keep reiterating and letting the new people know what to do to make sure we don't miss anything going on. So anyway, moving forward, hail forecast for today. No hail expected, unfortunately. Things are going to be pretty quiet across the country today. Don't think we're going to see any surprise sleeper storms like we did yesterday across Florida. I think things are going to be really quiet today across the country. But no worries moving forward here. It looks like once we get past tomorrow, things really start to pick up in terms of the activity. For Thursday, I still have that I have a 1% chance. I still think there's going to be no storms tomorrow, but God forbid there's a weird fluke, some little weather accident, and the storm off the dryline fires. There's that chance, but again, very low risk, almost basically 0% chance of any storms. It's just basically covering myself in case something surprising happens tomorrow, but not much tomorrow. Friday, however, I've now added, the first time this year, my orange significant threat for Friday, up to baseball size hail is possible. 25% chance now. The chances keep increasing as we get a little bit closer here of an event to occur with at least quarter size hail. And the real highlights, I think anywhere from about just north of Kansas City all the way down through eastern Texas, I think is where your core of where the big hail will end up being and where most of the hail is going to be. But a risk all the way from the Iowa, the Minnesota border, all the way down to possibly the Houston area are at risk on Friday. We'll go a little more detail on that in just a minute. Moving forward, Saturday also looks like you're going to see a chance for some storms. My confidence is down to only about 10% right now, just because we have to kind of see how things shake out on Friday. The way the models have been trending, it's been kind of trending up a little bit for a better chance for storms to produce hail on Saturday. However, we're not really honestly going to know until things are ongoing. The models have kind of whiffed a couple times these past few weeks, and if we have a really big, strong squall line at the end of the evening on Friday and it moves through on into Saturday, that'll kill our hail threat for Saturday. I think there will be some tornadoes, some gusty wind across Alabama, Mississippi, and into Tennessee on Saturday. Big question is, will they have isolated storms with large hail? So that's why we're only at about 10%. Moving forward, Sunday, same story, different area, different day. So basically, whatever happens Friday into Saturday will then eventually affect on Sunday. So my confidence goes down even further to 5%. But we are watching areas across the Carolinas and far eastern Georgia and down into the panhandle / peninsula of Florida. Watching that again up to golf ball size hail. It really depends on what happens on Friday, Saturday, and we'll determine Sunday. Will we have a lot of convection, a lot of rain, a lot of squall line, or is it going to kind of die out and then we have a chance for individual storms to fire on Sunday afternoon? Really, again, not going to know that until we get a lot closer to the event. The Saturday and Sunday are completely dependent on how Friday works out, so we're just going to have to kind of wait and see on that one, but at least highlighting the areas we're expecting. And then after that, Monday, things are quiet. The whole system pushes off the coast, and we have a lot of dry air in place for Monday. So Monday, I'm not seeing any hail possible. So that's what we're looking at next 5 days. I'm going to go into now an area of concern for Friday to highlight a little bit more the areas we're looking at and to specify the places I think I have the highest chance of a larger hail. I have right here, I have the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. I think we might have a similar situation to what happened last Friday, where storms may form very close to Dallas, possibly almost on top of the Metroplex or just west of the Metroplex. The dry line has been consistently slowing down on our all the computer models we've been watching, except for one of them that at this point, the outlier model I'm starting to kind of disregard and starting to put more faith into the other models as they're all coming together on one solution. And then the GFS, the American model, is out to lunch on its own little island. So I've kind of ignored that and focused more in on all the other models, and they're slowing this dry line down quite a bit. So I think while also having Dallas in play, I think Tulsa might actually have a fairly decent shot at getting some storms on Friday afternoon after about 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It looks like the dry line, it will probably be too fast for Oklahoma City. I could see storms likely forming just to the east of Oklahoma City, and you can see the towers going up to your east. But I think Tulsa might have a fairly decent shot at seeing some larger hail if all things come together just right. So Dallas, Tulsa, up further, Kansas City I think is another area where storms are going to form fairly close to you, just to your west and move through. And all these areas here, I think just up to probably about Fayetteville and Springfield, Missouri, the western half of my area of concern is your highest likelihood of large hail. I still think, regardless of how things shake out, that the storms will start discrete, start individually isolated little storms that have a higher chance of big hail, and kind of turn into a line once we get further to the east. So I'm watching St. Louis. I think St. Louis, you guys are probably not going to see hail unless a couple other things come together for you. Most of Arkansas, however, I think there will be storms out ahead of the main area of development that may move through Arkansas and even further south into Texas. Houston's way down here at the bottom. I'm keeping the risk just to your north. I think Houston might be a little too far south for Friday, as of right now anyway, for my area of concern. We'll be watching. It's going to be close. It's really going to depend on how far south development occurs. And then even further north here, I think Iowa, you could see some storms. I don't think you're going to see any lofty big hail like up towards baseball or anything, but I think there is that chance you're going to get some maybe up to golf ball size hail. And the tornado threat looks a little bit higher across Iowa as well. I think other places of tornado concern, eastern Oklahoma and to far western Arkansas, southeastern Kansas into southwestern Missouri, all have that tornado threat as well. I'm not really focusing too much on tornadoes, just a little thing to mention. And the hail, tornado risk to the west, wind risk further to the east as things develop. But this is what we're watching for now. So just to highlight, Kansas City, Tulsa, Dallas, all you guys are at risk for going into your Friday. Places like Joplin and Springfield, Missouri also have a shot. Fayetteville, Arkansas could even see a shot. Maybe even towards Little Rock as well, Shreveport as well. So a lot of areas we're watching, a lot of stuff that we're going to have to get more in the weeds about going into your Thursday. And of course on the forecast on Friday morning, I have a feeling I may have to do the forecast a little earlier on Friday instead of at noon. I think storms are going to fire pretty early on Friday, and we're going to kind of get ahead of it with our forecast, of course. And then once we get past that, we move forward to Saturday, and we'll have to kind of see how Friday shapes up for the Saturday forecast. So that's what we're looking at going into Friday. I take the time now, look at the models a little bit, just give you guys an idea of, visualization of what we've been talking about just now. I know that always helps you guys out here. And I'm going to show you the NAM, which is the little higher resolution, medium range American model. It's been showing a lot what the European model has been showing, and if you've watched us the past few days with the progression of forecasting this, the European has been really aggressive and really consistent. And when it comes to looking at models like this and interpreting it as a meteorologist, consistency is probably one of the strongest things I look for a forecast and what to believe. And seeing that consistency with the European model and then the NAM, once it got into range yesterday, starting to also have that consistency in agreement to the European model, made me pretty much completely disregard the GFS, which is a long-range model I typically show on here, and I'm just not going to show it today to show like misinformation or anything confusing. And of course tomorrow we'll have even more details. I'll have my preliminary forecast, so I won't have percentages on there, but I'll have an idea of what I think hail sizes will be and whatnot, so make sure you tune in for that. Moving forward, I have here, this is the dew point temperature to show a pretty good idea of where the dry line is going to end up. So tomorrow you see a pretty strong dry line to the west of Oklahoma City, but there's a very, very strong cap in place. It's going to be near 100 degrees in areas around here on Friday, and with the winds at the mid-levels blowing from the southwest to the northeast, That's going to put a very strong cap in place, keeps it from storms forming. So it'll be very warm, very humid on Thursday. There will be no storms, but definitely quite the fire danger on Thursday across western Oklahoma and Texas Panhandle, where there's already been a pretty brutal drought that's going to kind of keep going here. And we move forward beyond Thursday into Friday. You see the dry line kind of ease to the west a little bit, and that aids in places like eastern Oklahoma and possibly even central Oklahoma. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if the trend continues, there is a chance that move forward here. We get to 18Z, it's about noontime, 1 o'clock. It goes just to the east of Oklahoma. Sorry, guys. We need some rain to get all this pollen out of the air. But anyway, so here at about 1 o'clock, dry lines right over I-35, and this will have storms probably fire right around here, which is about 3, 4 o'clock, and it's just to the west of Tulsa. And you see even trying to get a little bit of bulge here in Kansas, southeastern Kansas, possibly bringing storms towards Topeka and towards Kansas City. And of course, even further south, you see down towards the bottom of my screen, you see the Dallas area also kind of getting bisected a little bit. So I think storms might form again, pretty much on top of you guys or just to your west. I expect this to jump a little further to the west, probably about another 50 miles before this all shakes out. So I think that puts most of the Dallas Metroplex at play on Friday. And then you continue moving forward, and you see the storms kind of shift a little further to the east as we move towards, this is about midnight on Friday night. So what does it show for, hang on, let me do composite reflectivity just to show you guys what the model is showing for what they expect the radar to look like. I'm going to skip ahead here past Thursday, where again nothing fires. We move forward. Might be some activity in the morning. We'll have to watch and see how this pans out. There's going to be a warm front moving north on Friday, and that can trigger some storms. We'll have to watch these to see if any of these end up going severe. They'll start out as showers, and as the day progresses, I could see 1 or 2 of these end up going severe and dropping some hail. And then beyond that, you can see some storms already starting to form around lunchtime. And afterwards, this is where the real storms would be forming. This would be right around 3, 4 o'clock. And again, this model doesn't go as high resolution with its large, with its radar, so just kind of take the grain of salt. Showing storms forming all the way up into Iowa, and this would continue into the evening here, evening hours, possibly into the overnight hours. And let's see, what's one other thing I can show you guys? Maybe the supercell composite to give you an idea of what, just again, a visualization of what areas to watch for storms to form. And shift ahead. Going ahead here, and you can watch the area here where storms are likely to form. The biggest question, of course, will be the storm mode. Will it stay discrete for long enough for large hail to happen and hit places, or is it going to be more linear, which is just a squall line that would minimize hail? Those details will shake out again in the next day and a half, and we'll have a full forecast update for Friday tomorrow, and even a peek ahead at Saturday and Sunday. And on Friday, of course, well, again, it'll likely be before noon, and we'll have a forecast about that as well. So I think I'm going to wrap things up here, guys. Going to jump ahead to just our typical little stuff that we have. Make sure you follow us on Facebook. Again, most of you guys watch us here on Facebook, so I think I'm just kind of talking about the same stuff that you guys probably already know. Hit that follow button if it's your first time here. Send some likes, send some hearts. Share this video if you like what you've seen. You want other people to watch it as well, especially if you're in the industry, of the restoration industry. We do lots of live coverage, continuing live coverage, so make sure you hit that see first button, because there is no set time for continuing live coverage, of course, and if you miss that push notification, you don't want to miss our continuing coverage. But if you click on see first after you follow the page, it will in fact actually show our videos up at the top of your news feed, so you don't miss it, even if you miss those notifications. And want more info about Hail Trace, got any further questions that we haven't answered for you, you can go ahead, give us a call at the number on the screen here, or an email at the number on the screen here, or you visit our website, hailtrace.com. We have details there. You can also message us on Intercom, which is on our website, hailtrace.com. It is a little blue circled speech bubble in the lower right hand corner. Click on that, and it sends out a message to all of our staff, and we'll answer any questions you have regarding sales, products, if you're having problems, if you want more details about the forecast, or even want us to do a hail report. All that stuff can be done through there, or any of the other methods we have. So again, have a great rest of your Wednesday. It's going to be quiet on our end, so we'll be back at noon tomorrow with another hail forecast, and hopefully things continue to trend even more favorable for big time storms on Friday, Saturday, and on Sunday. And thanks for the shout out for the haircut. Yes, I got one yesterday, and I shaved so I don't look like a homeless person anymore, and just in time for this event going on. And I'll see you guys tomorrow at noon. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. It's lead meteorologist John Choquette.